Education encompasses teaching and learning specific skills, and also something less tangible but more profound, the imparting of knowledge, positive judgment, and well-developed wisdom.
The world is moving at a tremendous rate. No one knows where. We must prepare our children not for the world of the past, not for our world, but for their world, the world of the future.
Well, I guess my first response would be it depends on how it's used. I think, for example, in the teaching of mathematics, the availability of powerful calculators has been very helpful in showing some things, how some things work in calculus and other areas that are very hard to demonstrate without taking hours of calculation time in that. So I think it's been a good advantage, but it's also, if it's used to do every simple little calculation, then people become incapable of doing simple arithmetic without their calculator, and that's a bad thing. So that's where technology can be good and technology can be bad.
Education has, as one of its fundamental aspects, the imparting of culture from generation to generation. Education means to draw out, facilitating realization of self-potential and latent talents of an individual. There are two types of education: traditional education and contemporary education. Computers and related technology are essential to the learning process in several ways. Clearly, technology enhances education and is becoming increasingly essential to learning. Student development of basic academic skill improves with the use of technology, especially for at-risk students. Access to the internet and distance learning opportunities promote relevant learning experiences, irrespective of geographic restrictions, and improve student and teacher access to information. Finally, technology, especially through video conferencing, promotes greater understanding of other cultures. Technology is best used for instructional purposes as an information processing tool. The use by students at all grade levels of real-world productivity software like word processors, databases, spreadsheets, presentation programs, multimedia authoring tools, email, video production equipment, digital reference materials, electronic indexes, and network search engines to complete complex.
Technology allows me to have instant access to information about students that I might need. In recent years, our ability to understand and track what students are doing and to make contacts with their support groups has improved tremendously. So at the moment we're on a relatively new student information system at the school, and that is a huge warehouse of information for us, so that we can get we're able to integrate academic records with personal records, with just demographic information, which enables us to like I say, get a much better grip on what's happening for students. The other area where technology is playing a big role in schools for us is to be able to do things like track student performance and attendance and different information about various student groups, and then cross-reference that information to see if we can find kind of cause and effect indicators that we can then start building and planning around. The final area where, for me, technology is very significant, apart from the way that teachers would use that, is in terms of being able to open up learning opportunities to students so that we can allow them to access different curricular options and teaching options that they wouldn't be able to necessarily obtain through just the resources that we have available at the school.
I have found emailing to be hugely beneficial as a teacher. I can stay in touch with parents on a regular basis, whether it's on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, or on a monthly basis. I can email home big project outlines. Because I'm a French teacher, one thing I find is if I send home the English version for the parents, they have a better understanding of what's going on and they can better assist their kids in the projects. The kids can do some online presentations. For social studies, my students just did some posters about ancient civilizations. And one of the things that every group had to do was they had to do a little presentation about some information of their civilization.
I would say that Montessori's education is not necessarily traditional. Our children use a lot of hands-on materials. That's the basis of our education. So technology is quite different from that. The children need 3D concrete materials to help them with their learning. At the upper grades, they do a lot of research and practical presentations. We use technology as a tool, but not as the main program. And I think the things that the children do with the hands-on, with the presentations, with their research all over the place, that's what makes interesting education, not just doing it online.
It has a number of hands-on aspects which allow children to see, feel, and touch the subjects they are studying. This kind of education makes students more active and energetic because they use tools, methods that they can share with others instead of digital education that makes them work individually. There's a lot of examples of using these tools, such as multiplication board, multiplication chains, units, tools for multiplication equations, fraction tools, map puzzles, and grammar symbols to figure out the sentence arrangement.
But there's a good setup. There's lots of table space for the kids, and then our bank of computers. But the problem is the kids are mostly at the computers to do their research. Very few kids take a book, sit down, and take notes. They all think that all the information is online. And yes, there are some good things online, but I find they waste time just looking and looking. The number of kids who are plagiarizing is going up. And in French immersion in particular, the kids are using technology to translate their work. They will find something in English, they will feed it into an online translator, and it'll get spit out. And what is spit out is not at all acceptable French. The context is not there, it's not the kids writing, and they're not understanding or learning anything.
And I think the biggest challenge with technology is learning to know when to use it, how to use it, and not having it take over your life. I mean, even in my own work, it is quite possible to spend the greater part of a day in front of the computer with emails and everything else. But where's the human connection when you are engaged with technology?